So in this day and age, making social media content isn't exactly a unique skill. In fact, it seems pretty much everyone and their dog has a social media platform. Literally, the dogs have bigger platforms than me. But since I've been making content for almost 2 years now with a chronic illness, I thought I would kind of discuss what my process looks like and why I think it's a little bit different from regular influencers. Yuck! But I also thought that maybe my process might inspire someone else who is chronically ill to realize that they too can make content with the right systems in place. But first, greetings and welcome back to Fitness with an Illness. My name is Ryan, and here on this channel, we like to discuss chronic illness and navigating life with that chronic illness. If that sounds interesting to you, I would really appreciate it if you consider liking and subscribing to the channel, as it really helps us out, and you never know, maybe it'll help you on your health journey as well. Thank you. Now, back to the video. So, just like any other YouTuber, I always start with an idea. This is usually a video concept or a thumbnail title, and from there, I just start writing. I use my laptop to type up a script because that gives me something to follow when I'm actually filming, which reduces the mental strain of having to think on the spot. But just know that even if typing is difficult for you, there is always the option of using the text-to-speech feature on your phone or computer. Meaning you could actually write a script while just lying in bed by talking to your phone if you needed to. From there, I just start filming and follow my script. Now at this time, I don't have great money for a nice camera or even a good filming location just because I'm not working at the moment. So for right now, I just use this boring blue wall. It's about the only space in our condo where I can actually work and have a clean-ish background. It's almost too clean, it's boring. But this is what I've been using. For me, it works for now. Someday, maybe I'll get something better, like a cat. And when I've really been having a bad day or a bad season, I sometimes even film directly from my bed, which is not ideal, but it fits with having a chronic illness. And so even if you are someone who is completely bedridden, I think that you could still manage some kind of video production or content straight from your bed. Just recognize that obviously the quality is not going to look as good as, a studio, which mine doesn't either. But just know that's an option. And then one tip I might add when it comes to writing and filming your scripts and videos, I would encourage you to start with small and shorter videos. Early on, I made the mistake of having these like 30 to 40 minute videos because I wasn't following a script. I had no idea what I was doing. I just kind of rambled on and on and on. And then I would have to edit these 40-minute videos down to like 20 minutes, and they'd still be too long and too jumbled and all over the place. And so my point with that is, if you're going to start making content, I think it is wise to start small and build up from there. And also by doing this, it helps keep your workload smaller, which is beneficial to you if you have a chronic illness, because the last thing you want to try and commit to is to hours and hours of editing every single week, because editing takes a lot of time. It's probably the most time-consuming part of making videos. So keep your projects small at the beginning and work your way up as your health allows. A good rule of thumb, at least for myself, when it comes to a shorter video is to write a script that is somewhere around 1,000 words. Now, even this 1,000 words I feel like varies a good bit because I probably only follow my script about 75% of the time. And so therefore, even a 1,000 word script tends to have a variation between a 6 and a 10-minute video. At least that's what it seems like in my experience looking through all of my videos. But if you are looking for a simple place to start, I think 1,000 words would be a great place to begin. Another thing to keep in mind if you want to start making content but you are chronically ill would be to keep in mind that a faceless channel is an option. Now, faceless channels are a different animal, and there are certain types of content that cater better to faceless channels. So the most common one that everyone thinks of is some kind of rain noise or gentle music background, like a meditation kind of thing, where they show the picture of a calm forest and there's soft music going and the wind is blowing in the background. Like that's the kind of faceless channel that everyone always thinks of. And so my point with that is just that there are certain types of content that work better in a faceless format. However, if you have an idea and you think you could make it work without showing your face, I'd say give it a shot, because there are people who have proven that it can work. Even if it's just the audio from your voice with some stock footage over the top. I think you'd be surprised what you could do even just with that. Now, in terms of posting content, I myself actually commit a really bad YouTube sin. Gasp! And that sin is posting all of my content 1 month in advance. And although my channel isn't exactly following politics or celebrities or the news or anything like that, you'd be surprised at how much this still affects me. Because there might be a time where I want to make a video on a news article about chronic fatigue, but I'm going to be posting my video 1 month after the article is released. So you see, it's not really ideal. But let me explain why I still do this, even though it may not be the best practice. For me, I tried filming and editing a video every single week, and with my health being so up and down, it was really hard for me to commit to the schedule just because I never knew if I was going to feel good or bad on any given day or week. But by posting my content 1 month in advance, it gives me a whole month to work on content before my deadline. This video you are watching now was actually written, filmed, edited, and scheduled all back in early December, and you're only just now seeing it. Is this the best case scenario? Probably not, but it has allowed me to continue making content even though my health is very inconsistent, which has been really beneficial for me. Now, what about editing? So I actually do most of my editing on my phone and only a little bit on my laptop. I often just find it easier for me to edit while sitting in the recliner, or if I'm not feeling good, I can just edit right in my bed on my phone. I personally use CapCut, and although they are not sponsoring me, I just want to say that I think they are a phenomenal app and they make editing really easy. But CapCut, if you ever want to reach out, just hit me up. The bottom line is that our phones are incredibly powerful now. You can do almost anything on your phone. And so even your video editing, you don't have to have this amazing laptop or computer and sit at your desk. You can do it right on your phone. Is it a little bit more tedious on the phone? Yes, absolutely. But that's honestly where I've done most of my video editing for the last 2 years. So it is completely doable and functional. And another thing to keep in mind if you're chronically ill and you're trying to edit videos, again, just like writing a script, start small. Don't try to have all these fancy loops and edits and transitions. That stuff will come in time. Even for myself, if I look at my videos from when I started out, there was basically no editing. I practically just cut out the bad takes and had one long video with like zero transition. And I'm proud of the fact that I think my videos have improved over time, by using stock footage and a few transitions and adding text. And there's just a few little tricks I'm learning over time, and I'm still trying to keep learning when I'm able to. And so again, just like with the writing, start small. A lot of people actually really still like very raw and unfiltered videos. There's nothing wrong with a professional look, and obviously those will always get the most views and the most attention because they look nice. But also don't discount your personal message and your personal story with your chronic illness, because the message is still always more powerful than the visuals themselves. The visuals are just a nice aid to the process. Now, what about social media? That's a big one. Well, this one depends on you. For this specific channel, I had a couple of social media accounts associated with it, and I posted on those accounts for almost 2 years. And I have just recently decided to drop those social medias and only focus on YouTube. If you want to see my full reason for why I did that, you can check out this video here, and that'll give you the in-depth explanation as why I made that change. But the short answer is simply that I feel like I had a little bit too much on my plate, and taking the social media aspect out of it is really beneficial for me in making the process more streamlined and easier for myself. And honestly, I just think that I enjoy the YouTube side of things much more than social media. Social media is not really my skill set. I think I'm a little bit better at YouTube, and so that's where I put my focus. And so for yourself, I would just say make whatever decision is right for you. There are plenty of influencers out there, and even like big musicians and bands that like don't have any social media presence at all. Not all of them, but just know that there are very successful people out there who still don't use social media and manage to still grow their brand or their channel or whatever it is you want to call it. So social media is a fantastic tool that can help you grow your channel, but just know that it's not necessarily essential. Do what is best for you. And really what I'm trying to say is this. If you are chronically ill and you have any interest at all in starting a YouTube channel or something similar, I would say just go for it. I did it, and so I know you can do it. I never in a million years had any plans of starting YouTube, and it's not really my style. At least I didn't think it was. I enjoy it now, but I never thought I would do this, and being sick is actually what put me on YouTube, and now it's been really encouraging to be able to see how my videos impact a few people. I'm not saying I'm this massive channel or anything, but from time to time, I'll make a video and it'll really have a positive impact on someone. And it makes you feel good, and it makes you feel like you're helping somebody else out there. And so if you have an important story to share, I would say just go for it. Give it a try. Somehow I've managed to run 2 channels now for quite some time. This one, Fitness with an Illness, and also Faith Made Well right here, where I talk a bit more about my faith in Jesus Christ. But somehow, despite being sick, I'm running both of these channels, and I'm having a good time with it. I also think you should consider a channel because we live in a world where the medical system is failing us. 60% of Americans are chronically ill. I think it's time that we take our health into our own hands and start listening to each other and learning from our different experiences. And one final thought I want to share with you is this. As someone who has been chronically ill for 3 years now, I can confidently say that having a YouTube channel has been incredibly beneficial for my health and just my well-being, because it has given me something to work towards. Because if you are someone who is chronically ill, you know that being stuck in bed or stuck in the house can really start to drain all of your energy and motivation from your life, because there's nothing you can really work on. But YouTube has given me something that I can continue to strive towards. It's given me this goal of something that I can continue to make progress on. And so I think that when you can't do much because of your health, it is incredibly important to have something that is still going to motivate you, something that's going to keep you getting up out of bed and saying, I want to work on this today. And so I would say, give it a shot. Recognize that it's still a lot of work. I used to always give YouTubers a hard time before I started it, not realizing how much work they actually put into it. And I realize now how much work I put into my videos, and they are still nowhere near the quality of some of the best YouTubers out there. Like my stuff looks terrible in comparison, and I have so much more respect for YouTubers and the amount of work they put into their craft. But my point with all of that is that if you are sick, having a goal to work towards can be incredibly motivating, and sometimes it can help pull you out of a rut because you have something you can be proud of and something that you can present to family and friends and the rest of the world. And so if you are chronically ill and you want to start a YouTube channel or a social media account or whatever, I hope this video was encouraging, and maybe you learned a couple things as well that might help you in your own journey. If you do go for it, I really wish you well. I hope it works out. And I just want to say thank you for spending part of your day here with me. I really appreciate it. I hope you'll stick around by liking and subscribing to the channel. That way we can hang out a little bit more in the future as we continue to work on our health together. And with that, my friends, I just want to say thank you so much. God bless. We will see you in the next one. Adios.